Let us get more advanced in data analytics and dashboard creation. As you can see, we're going to be creating this particular kind of dashboard today without having to write a single VBA whatsoever to have it created. So right now, what you can see is a very dynamic dashboard. So we're going to be creating every single thing right here from the scratch, and I'm going to show you how everything works. So right now, if you look at this particular part right here right now, so what it does is this. If I go and zoom closely, so what we can see, we have August selected right here, and it gives us more information about August. Ordinarily, what the trend is actually showing is monthly profit trend right here on every single month. But right now, we try as much as we could to show beyond what we are actually seeing on this particular line and chart whatsoever. So now we have the sales, we have the profit, we have the delivery cost right here, and you might want to see that month. So go ahead and actually select something like April right here, and we have it on April. So if we don't want to see anything, I want to have it cleared. So what do? We just go straight right here and actually go all the way down and select this particular part right here, and there we have it. So right now, let us see how we can actually get this one very much created and just look just like what we have right now. So it is time for we to hit the right workbook. Hi everyone, Amazing here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you're here for the first time, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button to get more information about data and all of that. So right now, what we can do is just for you to see what we have right here. Can you see we have location, we have products, we have agent, we have order, we have logistic, which is the shippers, and we have our icons, which is the icons we're going to be using, and we have warehouse, right? So we have to make sure we combine all this data together to create something very amazing. So but we're not going to be doing that on a particular sheet right here. So what we can do is to use Power Query to have the data clean, and after cleaning the data, what we can do next is to actually push the data into our Power Pivot in order to help us to host our data and actually create relationships. So let's do that. So for the first time, if your data is not as clean as what I have right now, make sure you have your data very clean, because you're going to be having this particular data downloaded. If you want to have the full template just like what I have right now, just like something like this, to have it right on your system, so all you just got to do is to actually take our course. You have the full template right there, because this is one of our course, one of the videos in our course. So we have 150 videos or courses for you in Excel dashboard creation whatsoever. So amaze yourself by taking that course, right? So let us go back to the workbook we're actually using. So here we are. First thing we can do right now is just to make sure we turn this particular data into a table, which is what it is right now. So go to the top level right here, and from there, what you can do, locate where we have our data, click on it, and actually go right here and say from table range, and click on that, and what it is going to take you to Power Query. Okay everyone, welcome to Power Query environment. So the first thing I'm going to do, I always love to actually make sure I have this particular name change. So I don't like what it is right now. I'm going to say fact table, fact underscore table. So this is what I love. So I'm going to hit OK, and that is what it is. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to look at my data and see how I can actually change the data type. So right now, this one is actually date and time. So I don't want it on date and time. Go right here and actually go for date, and you have it changed. So right now, if you look at what we have right here, change column type. So right now it's telling us to replace what we have right here. I don't want to replace it. I just want to make sure I have new one added. So I'm going to add new one, and I'm going to go right here and actually right click on my cursor. I'm going to actually say, okay, now on my mouse, we'll go on rename this to like date changed, date type. Sorry for that. Date type changed. So here we go. So should any other person actually inherited our report or our dashboard whatsoever, the person will definitely know what we've done right here, should the person want to actually track anything whatsoever. Okay, now we are done with what we have right here right now. What we can do next is we to actually scroll through and see if we have any other column, we need to actually change its data type right on this particular table. So we have none. So what we can do right now is to learn how to actually get this data into our Power Pivot. So if it's the first time, pay attention, you would definitely learn a lot. Okay, what we can do right now, you see this particular close and load right here. If I go ahead and just click on this particular icon, what it will do is just going to get this one default into a particular worksheet for us, which is what we don't want. So we use this particular aspect to actually manage huge rows of data, like millions of data, and if you do that, you're just going to shut down. So just go right here and open it up and go to this particular aspect where it says close and load to. Click on it and see what it is that we're going to have. So right now, this is what we have right here. So let me just explain to you what we have right here, and I'm just going to explain strictly on what we're going to concern ourselves much about. So because I want to create only connection, I don't want to have the data inside any worksheet whatsoever. I just want to click on this one right here After doing that, I'm going to say, okay, now if you create connection, I just want you to add this data into data module for me. I'm going to click on that. It's just like under memory in Excel and Power BI whatsoever, so that you can actually have data right in. No matter how huge the data is, it's just going to work fine. Okay, now after I've done that, just go right here and click on OK, and there we go. It's going to actually get itself right there. Let us see what's going to right here. Can you see this right now? It's actually counting to see how much rows of data we have right in here. So just give it some time. Okay, here we go. We can always actually scroll through it and actually see what it is that we have right here. If we want to actually go ahead and edit it again, just go right here. If you want to have deleted, go right here. So we don't have to talk about that because I'm not going to do any of that. So what can we do now is for we to go back right here. Now go all the way down, and I'm going to start from location. So we want to take this particular data from location down to that particular aspect again and check if there is something that needs to be cleaned whatsoever. So go right here and click on it. So this is what it is. So come right here from table. So here we go, right on our query environment. So what we can do right now quickly, I just want to show you this. This is customer, and this is the customer location. So I'm just going to come right here and say, okay, I want to change this one to some kind of dim. So dim means dimension. So this is our dimensional table right here. I love to name it dimension because I want to actually make sure every single table stand out the way it should be. So checking on it right now, I don't have any other place to actually get to change whatsoever. What I can do is to do the same thing now that I had done before. No matter how little the data is, we just want to actually make sure we connect this particular connection. And we do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, add to this particular module. And I'm going to say, okay, right here. And it's going to actually add itself right for me. That is all we need to do. The same thing I had done right on this particular order and location is what I'm going to do to others. Let's see how that happened in a very speedy way. Okay, we have gotten almost the whole table right here. So what is left for us right now, I want to show you something right on it. It's actually the product table right here right now. So here we have it. So I'm just going to get a product table right there. I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to have it. So the reason why I just want to keep this particular product table to be the last is actually showing you something right here. This is very important. So you just have to look at the data type to be some kind of correct. So if I open it up right now, you see we have different types of data types right here. So if it is not actually on the right data types, once you do your calculation, you're going to have problems. So this is a whole number. Just make sure it's actually right on whole number. And if it is some kind of decimal and it's not on the right data type, just make sure you have a change. That is what I want to show you. So all we need to do right now is just to make sure we use the dimension for it as well. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to say dimension. So you're going to be dim. Okay, underscore. Here we go. So quickly we just have to make sure we close and load to, and we just do the same thing we have been doing before. We just want to make sure we add it to data module, and we create connection only, and we click on OK. So right now guys, we are done from here. What we need to do right now is to quickly go ahead and actually see where we have our data right in. So what we can do right now, I'm going to have this one closed. So if we want to have it back, it's very simple to be brought back. So go right here and say query and connections, and you're going to have it back quickly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close it because I don't need it right now. So go to the top level right here. What you can see once you're actually on data, if you're not on data, you can actually come and pop pivot right here. You're still going to see this particular manage right here, data module, or you can go to data. You're gonna see the same thing, manage data module right here. Click on it and see what it is that we're gonna have right now. Okay guys, this is what we have. Can you see this right now? This is what we have. What can we do is for we to actually go ahead and start creating a relationship. And before then, let's see, we have just gotten this address previously before now, but really we still have it weird. So it's still giving us date and time whatsoever. So what we can do is to highlight that column alone, go right here and actually change it to what you want. So I'm going to change it to something like this, and there we go. We have it the way it should be. Okay, after we have done this, let us check our tables right here. So we have this dimension for customer, every single data we have right in here actually correct. So we love it this way. Okay, what we can do next right now is to create a relationship. So go on this particular diagram view right here and click on it. So once we click on diagram view, what we can see is the whole tables we have right here. This is beautiful. It is very beautiful. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, right now what we can do right now is actually this is our fact table right here. The fact table is what is actually hosting our transaction. So those are the dimensional tables we have right here. I'm just going to bring this one to this particular aspect here, and I want to make sure this one is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to make sure I bring this one beneath it. So this is what it is. So now we surrounded our dimensional table, we surrounded our fact table with our dimensional table. So what we can do right now is just to see, I'll go back here. I'm going to go back right here. I want to click on this one right here. And what we can do is actually see we have this particular, if I scroll down to this end right now, so we have index. This index has no connection with what we have right here as an index, so it doesn't have any connection with this index. You have to understand that it's just a number that actually, you know, depicts how much rows we have, but this ones right here has actually connection to orders that people actually ordered right from our store whatsoever. So if I go back right now, so we have to ignore anywhere we have index. So what we can do right now, we want to actually connect warehouse code to warehouse code in our warehouse fact table. So what we can do right now to create that relationship is to just come right here and actually make sure you plug this one away from here and make sure it touches this, and that is exactly what it is. So we just got our first relationship created whatsoever. It's just like your VLOOKUP, your XLOOKUP whatsoever. That is what it is. So right now what we have right now is actually, you know, one-to-many relationship. So here is the many side where we have the star, and this particular place is where we have it as many as just one. So now we have in warehouse, we have one warehouse here that got itself repeated over and over again right here, because we have actually taken goods from that particular warehouse different times whatsoever. So coming down right here to the, you know, our product table, we just have to see our product code right here. So we have to drag it down to this particular aspect, and it's going to give us the same thing that we have gotten right here, and this is what it is. So don't worry, I'm going to show you once we actually make it wrongly, we can actually go ahead and actually revert it and see what it is that we can do to actually make sure we amend what we've done. So now for the location number, so we have to just make sure we take it down to the top level right here, and that is for location number. We've just gotten that particular one created. So coming right here for the agents, I'm going to go for the agent code. I just want to locate where we have our agent code right here, and I want to make sure I have it right for it. So here we go. Nicely, that is correct. So now one of the, you know, thing I don't like about it is when we are wrong, it doesn't really tell us that what we've just done now is actually wrong. That is what it is. So now going to for the shipper's code here, what I can do, I'm going to drop down this particular one to this particular one right here, product code, and now look at what happens. It works so fine. It never tells us that the relationship we've just gotten created right now is wrong, but in Power BI it's going to tell you, but Excel is a little bit tricky. So what can you do if mistakenly you wanted to drop it on the right, you know, shipper code right here, but mistakenly you got it dropped right here? What can you do? It's just for you to make sure you have your cursor right on it, right click on your mouse, and you see this particular edit relationship, and there we go. Can you see that right now? So this is dim logistic. This is the logistic, and we have shipper's code and we have product code right here. So what we ought to have looked for is actually the same shipper code. We just have to make sure we keep looking for it, and there we have it. It's the one carrying 3PL. Can you see that right now? So make sure we have this right for it, and we are gone. We are done from here. So let us go ahead and actually click on OK, and that relationship is just being corrected. So now if I go ahead and hover right on it right now, you can see it's actually locating the same shipper wherever. Okay, now we have just gotten this done. What can we do next is for we to actually click on our data view right here, and now here we are back. So it is time for we to actually start to get to do something very more advanced right here. So I'm going to make sure I shift this up right a little bit, so now it gives me space to actually create my first DAX. I'm going to show you how to write DAX to make calculation right here. Okay, if you want to know how to if you want to understand between measure and calculated column, it's right on my course. I actually explain everything right there, but I want to be a little bit speedy right here to just create measure, not calculated column. So right there I actually explain to you why you need it and why you should use it whatsoever. Okay, right now we want to actually calculate how much sales we have made over time, and if you look at here, we don't have anything like sales right here. Like, you know, we don't have the price, the goods per the price of the goods right here, and the cost and whatsoever. We only have the quantity being purchased right on our quantity table whatsoever. Okay, now what can we do to do that? It's just for to place our cursor anywhere around this particular boxes we have right here. So once we have our cursor right here, once we start writing something, it's going to actually have itself reflected right here. And how do we go ahead and do that? Okay, kindly pay attention. It's very simple and easy. So just have your cursor in any of these particular cells we have right here, anyone at all. You might decide to use this particular aspect, anyone you want to use. So we just want to use right here, and what we're going to do right now, I'm going to have my sales right. I'm going to type in my sales. So you can see once I start typing, you're going to see right here is what it is. So I have my sales right here. So sales, and right now in Power BI you just put your equal to and you start writing, but right here it's not going to recognize what you're doing, so you just have to put this particular column and your equal to right now would come forward. So after that, what we can do right now is, because we have our what, so before we do anything, I'm just going to make sure I cut this away from here. Let me show you what it is. Now if we go down, we can see on our product table, so just let us click on this. So on our product table right now, we have the unit price and the cost price right here. So we just have to pick these prices and actually bring it to our fact table and create an analysis that actually going to help us to create what it is that we want on a particular product whatsoever. So placing my cursor right here, we can come back to the top level right here. I'm going to paste what we have just gotten done before, and now the function we're going to be using is going to be called SumX. And what does SumX do? SumX actually is looking for table. SumX is going to pull information of some value from under table to this particular table right here. And what we need for the first time is actually the table. And what is the table? The table name is actually going to be the fact table, which is the present table where we are right now. So I'm going to say fact table. So now we have it right here. This is the fact table, and the next we're going to be doing right now is that we want to get something from another table. So what do we use? We have another function called related. So we're going to be using related. Sorry for that. So table, and now we just have to make sure we go on comma, and now is the expression. The expression is going to be related, so we just want to get it from a related table. So related. Now we have the function. So once we have our related table right here, so we just have to know what the table name is, or what the table name is. So scrolling down, it's actually dim products. So I'm gonna go for what, for dim products right here. So dim underscore products. So once we have done that, we can see this is what it is. So what do we want to get right now? Because we're trying to calculate for sales, so we just have to get the price right here. So I'm gonna go for unit price. Here we go, we have the unit price right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to have it closed. So if I have it closed, what I'm going to do next is for me to actually use my multiplication. So now we just have to go and multiply it by the quantity sold. Now we just have to say Q. Once we actually type in Q, it gives us quantity. So right now, which one do you select between these two? So we have to select the one that actually has what? That has the fact table right on it. The fact table is actually a table, and what do we need from the table is a particular column called quantity. So I'm going to go ahead and actually click on my top key, and now, okay, here we go. This is what we really want. So if you look at it now, here's our column for quantity, and the whole table is actually called fact table, and inside the fact table we have quantity right there, and this particular dim product right here is actually the name for this particular table, and inside the dim table we have a column that actually is being named unit price. That is exactly what we have just done. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to have it closed, and I'm going to hit enter, and let us see what we have done right here. So right here we have the calculation reflecting here. So this is what it is very correct. So now if you want to actually learn more about this particular way of getting things done in Excel, please take my course. It's very simple. So now I'm going to go right here and actually go ahead and go to this particular aspect here. I want to change it, this particular United States $sign, and I'm going to take off the extra decimal if it has any. I'm going to go right here and click OK. Let's see what it is. Click on your OK here. So now we just have to remove one extra decimal from it. So here we go, we have it nicely just like this. So now, do you know I hate reinventing the wheel when I create my dashboard? So which means I have to get this particular same calculation we have just done and just tweak it and get to what I really want. So once I've done this copying of a thing, I'm just going to come right here beneath it. I'm going to paste it right in here. I want to come right here and have this paste, and what I want to change right now is this particular one right here. So what I'm going to actually calculate this time around is actually going to be called COGS. And you know what COGS is? COGS is called cost of goods sold. And in order to calculate the cost of goods sold, we just have to change one part of our, of this here. So what part are we going to change? This is the part here. I'm going to actually make sure I move it, and I'm going to go for cost price. Cost price. Previously we've used this particular unit price, so right now it's time to use this particular cost price, and there we just have it. I'm going to hit my enter key, and there we go, we have it. And I want to make sure I go for the dollar United States, and I'm going to actually take off the extra decimal out of it, and there we go, nicely we have it. So here is the cost price, and the next thing I'm going to do right now is for we to actually create for quantity. It's going to be very simple. We just have to create for quantity. I'm just going to come right here. I'm going to come to this particular aspect. So total QT. total quantity. So it's gonna be my equal to, and what I'm going to do right now is just going to be some kind of sum. So I just want to sum the column where we have the quantity right in. So once we use sum, open bracket, I'm just going to type in my Q, and here we go, we have it. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we just commit this, and it's going to work very fine. I hope you understand what is going on right now. It's very simple and easy. So what you can do right now, tab key, have it closed, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter key and all of that. So this time around we don't want to use dollar because it's not actually some kind of found whatsoever or currency value. So we just have to use this particular comma separator and actually remove the extra decimal out of it, and go quickly and you see what we have right here. After what I've gotten this, next we're going to be doing now is to create to see what is the cost of shipping the goods we have just sold to the end users. So how much do we really spend on this? It's very simple and easy to be created. Let's see how we can do that as well. Okay, this time around we just want to go to logistic, and under logistic right here, I think it's just the name of the shippers. We have just used the people who actually the company that actually help us ship, and actually how much do we pay them per product whatsoever. So we have $15 right here, $13, $8, $12 and some $12 and some cents. So we just want to use this particular column right here. So going back right here right now, we just have to start to create that. So I'm gonna place my cursor right here. I'm gonna come right here and start to actually do that ASAP. So what can we do? I'm gonna say total delivery cost. Delivery cost. So it could be TDC whatsoever. So right now, here we go. Now what can we do to actually have this done? It's gonna be very simple again. It's gonna be same sum X that we've used previously, and the table is gonna be fact table if you still remembered. And after that, we just have to put a comma, and the expression right now is gonna be dim. So now we just have to use logistic. Here we go, we have dim logistic being used, and after we have done this, we just have to make sure we close it, and we want to multiply it by how much of this particular quantity this particular company actually moved whatsoever. So we just have to go multiply by what? By the QT. So here we go, have it closed and hit enter right now. I think something is wrong that we just have to address right here, and let's see what that is. So we just have to come right here and see what the error is all about. So the expression is not valid or appears to be incomplete whatsoever. So let us close it and actually see what it is that we have as a problem right here. Quickly, can you spot anything right? I believe you can. So if you can't, let us see what it is that we don't have right here. So right here we want to actually get something from this particular table, but we don't use related table, right? So we just have to type in related, and here we go. Now is normal. So if I go ahead and hit enter right now, you can see everything will work quite well for us. So let us just give it some time and see. Okay, I think we have something. It'll have a little error again, not an error. I think we should have a duplicate of something, and the duplicate is coming from where? Dim logistic. Okay, we just have to make sure we get this one away. So I'm gonna get this away, take it away. We'll type in dim, so logistic cost, and here we go. So if I go ahead and hit enter right now, I should have what I really expected to have, and here we have it. So now what we can do to make sure we see what it is, the value we have sitting right here is just for we to actually have it opened up right here. Can you see that right now? So we have it an extra decimal. So right now we can actually go ahead and actually use this particular $sign for it, and once we have done that, we take off the extra decimal if we don't need it. It's always very important to actually get that done. This is what we need to do, guys. So we've just done something like this. So what do we do next? So next is actually creating what the profit is going to be like. So now it's going to be very simple and easy. So let us just do it right here. It's going to be total profit. So total profit is going to be some kind of, we don't need any complicated function right here right now. So it's very simple and easy. So for the total profit right now, we just want to say sales subtracted from what? From cost of goods sold. So which is our COGS, and we just want to subtract it from what? From total delivery costs right here. And once we've done that, that is exactly what you need to do. So we've just gotten all this subtracted, so we're gonna hit enter right now, and let's see what we have. this is what it is that we have. So quickly, we just have to format this. It's a currency, so we just have to take off the extra decimal. Now this is all we have. Can you see what it is right now? So we are ready to actually start creating our analysis, our dashboard, aren't we? Yes, for real, we are ready. So this is what it is that we need to do. So I've actually taught you how to make a very a good analysis using this particular way in my course. Go ahead and actually pick it up and see what it is. So right now what we can do is just for we to create our first pivot table. I'm just going to go right here and say create my first pivot table for me. And here we go. It's going to say, what sheet do you have? An existing sheet? No, I'm going to say default to a new one. Now let's go. Here we have it. So we have our first pivot table right here, and right now I'm going to leave my first pivot table right here, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to have it move it right to this particular aspect, and I'm going to name it some kind of analysis. So analysis, I'm going to hit enter, and right here I'm going to create my dashboard. So this plus sign, make sure you click it, double click it, and just say dashboard, hit enter key. There we have it. So you know what it is I used to do when it comes to dashboard creation whatsoever. So all I need to do is just to make sure I take the whole screen whatsoever. So I'm going to go to view, and from view I'm going to go for the headings, for the grid line. I'm going to take it off, and we have plain white. So it is time for we to create a very nice looking clean dashboard. So let's see what we can do to have that done. Okay, the next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure we Ctrl A to change the color of this whole cells. Go to the top level right here, go to home, and from home what you can see is this particular color right here, the fill color. Just click on it, and what we can use right now is this particular color we have right here. Just click on it, and there we have it. So if I go on full screen right now and select, this is what we have. This is beautiful. Okay, the next we're gonna have right now is to go to the top level right here. So from there, go to insert, and from insert, go ahead and actually hit on illustrations. From illustration, go to shapes, and from shapes, pick this particular shape right here and actually drag it down as little as you like. So go right to the top level right here. So what we can do right now is just to change the format. So now just click on this if it is not actually activated. So make sure you activate it. So once you have it activated, come right here and change the height of this to 1.19. It's gonna be 7.19, I presume. Yep, it should be 7.19, and that is what it is. So for the weight right now, the weight is going to be some kind of 13.33, so it's going to be 13.33. So this is what it is. So now if I go on full screen, this is what I have right here. I'm just going to make sure I take it the way it should be. And what we can do right now is just to make sure I reduce this. So we just have to reduce the curveness. I'm just going to reduce it down to this particular level. So once I've done this, I just want to make sure I change the color as well. So changing the color is very simple. Go right here, or still you can actually Ctrl 1. So once you Ctrl 1, this is what we're going to have. So right here I'm going to say no line. I don't want any line for it. I'm going to come to the fill aspect right here. I want to come right here and actually make sure I select this particular color for it. This is exactly what it is. So select this color for it, and here we have it. So now we are almost right there. Just make sure it sits right the way you really wanted it to be. Something like this is cool. I'm gonna go ahead and actually pick under one. So here is this. I'm gonna drag it down here a little bit. So what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I change this to what? I'm gonna change this to 6.29. So it's gonna be 6.29. So now the width is gonna be what? So we're gonna change the width now to be some kind of 1.92. So it's gonna be 1.92. Here we go, nicely. So something like this will be cool. So what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I have this right here. So it's gonna be right here. I'm gonna make sure I move it to the top a little bit. Something like this will be fine for me now. And now we just have to make sure we do something very amazing. Okay, if you look at this right now, here is our previous work, and we are beginning to create something just like this, right? Okay, in order to change the color for this card, highlight the card itself. So after you might have done that, just go for your Ctrl 1, and once we have Ctrl 1 actually click down. So what we can do right now is just to come right here and say no line for this, and once you've done that, go to this gradient fill and actually click on it, and that is what you need to do. So I just want to remove two stops away from here. So I have two stops removed. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to come right here and click on this one, and once I have it selected, I'm going to scroll down a little bit to see what we're doing. Click right here, and the color want to use is actually I'm gonna mix it myself. So we have it already, but I just want to show you how to get a color. So come right here and actually go to this particular aspect here, and we just want to come right here and impute the color code right there. It's gonna be 165, and here is going to be 104. So it's going to be 104, and the next one is going to be 210. It's going to be some kind of 210. That is all we need to do to have this particular color selected. That is all about that. So come right here again and select the color for the next one right here. So for the next one, it's just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down. So we're going to go right here. I'm going to say 12, 37, and it's going to be some kind of 50 here. So 12, 37, 50. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to click on OK. So here we go. We have something just like this. Can you see that right now? This is what we have right here. So we are almost right to the right part of this particular dashboard. I want to go to the top level again. I'm going to go insert, and from there I'm going to go to the illustration. I want to go ahead and actually select this, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit. So let's see how we can actually get to do the magic right here to make sure we get something done right at the top level here. So go to the top level and come right here and just do this. It's going to be 04 and 3. Okay, sorry for this. Here's going to be 0.4. The next one is going to be 3.1. It's going to be 3.21, and here we go nicely. So we have something like this. So once we've just gotten something like this, I'm going to go right here, and so what a control 1 as well. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say for this one no line, I want to go for the fill color. I want to select white for it, and after I have selected this white right here, it does not really come out the way I really expected it to come out. I'm going to go to this particular aspect here. I'm going to go to shadow. I'm going to select this particular kind of shadow for it. So here we go. Now because it is too much, I just want to make sure I reduce it down to what I really wanted to have, and something like this will be really okay, but I want to still reduce it a little bit. So here we go. We have something like this right here and all of that. So I'm gonna leave it this way, and once I've gotten this done, so the next thing I'm gonna do right now is just for me to actually write something right inside here. I'm gonna go ahead and select this particular text box here. I'm gonna bring it all the way down to this particular aspect. I want to have this one down to this particular aspect, and what I'm gonna do right now is just for me to type in retail store performance dashboard. Okay, let me use the tail. So details. So this is what it is. So now we've just gotten this done. I just want to make sure I come to this particular aspect here. I want to say no fill, and I want to say no line to it. And here we go. We just have to make sure we bring this right here, and we just have to make sure we drag it a little bit down to this particular aspect here, and we just have to change what it is that we just have for it. I just want to make it bold, and if I go away now, we just have to change the color just to make sure it's some kind of standout. So we want to make sure we use something like this, so it's going to be some kind of calm compared to what we had previously, and that is exactly what it is. So the next thing we're going to be doing right now is this. Okay, never forget to save your work just every single time to avoid losing your work once something bad happened. I had saved this before. I'm just going to go to save as, and once I go to save as right here, I'm going to click on here. I'm going to show you how I have it saved, and you're just going to type the name. Don't bother to save as Excel or macro enable whatsoever, because we're not going to be writing any macro. Just save it any way you like and click on save. That is all you need to do. Okay, so for that, I've actually saved it before. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out. All I need to do is just to do the Ctrl S and have it saved again and all of that. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we select both of them right here. I just want to make sure I move it to the top level a little bit. So just have to make sure we move it. Just go ahead and move it a little bit. Something like this would be cool. So right now it's time for we to work with our icons that we have right here. So just want to get those icons down to that particular aspect, but we don't have all the icons here. So what we can do now to work with this is just for we to make sure we use the previous icon we have actually used right on the other dashboard. So let us actually create something very quick for you guys. So here we go. I just want to come right here. I just want to make sure I say select month, and here we go. So because this dashboard is actually protected, we cannot do anything right now. We just have to click right here and go to review, and here we go. We actually selected. So now we can select something we have to actually pick from here. So here we go. We just have to get this. So we just have to get them. Okay, coming back right here right now, we can just drop it right here. So Ctrl V will help us to drop it, so we can actually bring it down so to this particular aspect to actually make sure it sits right the way it should be before we have it released. I'm gonna make sure I have it right here just like this. I want to make sure I move it to the top a little bit. Okay, something like this will be cool. As you can see, we have it right here, and these shapes you can get them, sorry, these particular icons is something you can get from insert and go to illustrations and you go to this particular icons. So now we will definitely have it. I'm gonna give it to you to be used and stuff like that. Okay, right now what we can do is to start to get back to our analysis sheet right here. So once we get back to analysis sheet, let's see what we can do. So click on it and there is no way we can see nothing, right? So what we can do right now is just for we to actually right click on this particular aspect here, and we say show field list, and here we go, we have our field list right here being shown. So what do we want to use? So right now we have analysis right on the fact table, and we have difference between the one we created and the one we had there before. We have this particular fx, which means this is the measure we have just created previously before now. So here is our measure. So what we need to actually have right now are those measures, right? So I'm going to go for sales, cost of goods sold, total quantity sold, and as well, you know, total delivery cost whatsoever, and total profit. And there we go, we have them just like this. So once we have this right now, we want to make things very simple and easy. So what we can do right now is just for we to actually highlight everything, and once we have done that, I just want to go to formula, and from formula I want to go to what, go to create from selection, and this is what it is. So right now what we can do, let us look at that. I'm gonna make sure I bring this one to the top level so that we can see what we're doing. So what we can do right now, we want to create some kind of name ranges that is going to actually look at what the values are beneath here. So, and we're going to use the top one to create the name range. So we have all this right here. I have it explained in my course and what they do. I'm going to click on OK right here, and that is all that we need to do. So now I'm going to actually come right here and go to formula, sorry, go to view, and from view I want to turn on the formula bar. And once we've done that, we can see right here now, if I select here right now, I can go for quantity, and it's going to have that particular part highlighted for me. If I want to go to total profit right now, it's going to have it highlighted for me. So once I've gotten this ready right now, what we can do is this. So we have total, we have total, we have total, and we have this one, sales and cost of goods sold. So very simple and easy. So let us quickly go back to a dashboard and see how we can actually utilize that. So what I can do right now is just for me to make sure I have this selected, select this, have this selected, have this selected as well, and bring it all the way down right here. So something like this will be cool. Bring it all the way down and have it released. So once you've done this, just deselect it and come right here, and for the quantity, what we can do is just for to put our equal to right here. I'm going to type in my total, and it's going to actually show me everything I have that has to do with total. And what we need is the total quantity. I'm going to come right here and click on my tab and hit enter, and I have the value right here. And for this one, it's actually my cost of goods sold. It's going to be simple. So cost of goods sold, like COGS. So here we go, tab key, and there we have the value. We don't need to actually go ahead and actually reference this cell, you know, or one by one after the order. So equal to, I'm going to type in total, and this is going to be total revenue. Do we have total revenue right here? So I think it's going to be revenue total. So okay, it's going to be sales. So it's going to be sales. So we just have to type in our sales right now, and here we go, we have our sales right here. That is the revenue, and this is going to be profits, right? So the profit has total. So if I put my equal to right now, I'm going to put in my total, and here we go, we have our total profit right here, and that is exactly what it is. So now that is what we need to actually have right here. So we've just gotten everything right here. The next thing is for we to actually format it the way it should be to look just like what we really want to have, right? I'm going to come right here. I'm going to actually have to extend this to this end. So here we go. I'm going to have to click on this one manually. I'm going to do them. Okay, nicely. We just have to do the same thing to this as well. So we're going to do this manually. It's going to work so better. So I'm just going to do the same thing to this as well. So here we go, nicely, we have done that. So let's see what we can do to do the next step. So what we can do right now is to make sure we highlight everything we have right here at the same time. Once we have them highlighted, go to the top level right here and go to home, and from there we just want to make sure this one is actually on 12, and we want to make sure it's bold. And once we've done that, we want to come to the top level right here as well. We just want to make sure we have something like this selected, and this is what it is, right? Can you see that right now? So come right here and actually select something like we just want to select area black. So let's see what it is. that we have on that particular area block right here. This is what we have. So you can actually test a lot of this particular font and see which one actually work for you best and all of that. So I think this one is actually going to be cool for me. And once I've done that, I want to make sure this particular quantity actually stand out. I just want to make sure I crank it up a little bit. Something like this will be very, very nice, interesting, right? So now this is what we have done. So we just want to make sure we keep this video very short, and in order to actually assimilate what we have learned right here and practice. So guys, this is what it is. Just keep watching how to create dashboard and analyze data with decision. See you in the next video.